Hey, this is a really fun little game, and it's got Reiner Knizia's fingerprints all over it. That's a good thing. Now, for folks who don't know, Reiner Knizia is a game design rock star. He's been designing games now for decades, and he's written dozens of books about them. I have a lot of them in my collection. Well, some. And he has some trademark mechanics that after you play some of his games, you start getting used to it. Then I can start playing a game that I have never seen before, and I can say, ooh, this feels like a Knizia game. It's gratifying when I go to the box and say, aha. Well, this is one of them, a nice little card game here. I got this copy from the folks up there at Outset Media, and appreciate them sending it along. And so I'm doing a little review for them and tell you a little bit about the game Poison. The components are sort of expected, I guess. This is a deck of cards, a golf pencil, and a score sheet specifically made for the game. It is a game for 3 to 6 players. It does involve just a little bit of arithmetic. The setup is very straightforward. You've got 3 cards here that are called the caldron cards, purple and blue and red, and another card here that's just a first player card. Keeps track of who's the first player for that particular round. Now the other cards here are color-coded depending on which cauldron these chemical concoctions are supposed to be assigned to. These cards are shuffled and then they're dealt out to the players. Depending on how many players you got, dictates how many cards they get. There's a little chart here from the owner's manual that tells you how that works. So let's just set up a 3-player example, and that dictates that each player gets 12 cards. It's my choice how I want to set my hand up, of course. Chances are I want to separate things by color just because I'm a color guy. But one thing you'll notice if you're observant about numbers, and you can catch on here, the number of numbers in each suit of cauldron color are not evenly distributed. And that is another hallmark of a Knizia game. There's some mathematics behind everything. Each player's turn is exceedingly simple. You play a card to one of the cauldrons that matches its color, or you play a poison card, which is one of the green ones that can be played on any of the 3 piles. The thing that drives your decision as to where to put the cards is the total sum of the cards on that cauldron. So after you play a card to a cauldron, like so, if the total sum of the numbers on the cards in that stack are 13 or less, your turn's over. Play goes to the next player. If, on the other hand, that total is 14 or more, then you take those cards and they go in your score pile. That's really the gist of the whole game, but the trick is in the scoring. Let me go ahead and play this out, and then we'll run through that scoring phase, and you'll see the value of these different plays. Okay, now our game is complete. Everybody's played out their hand. There's a card left over. Doesn't matter. Everybody's taken all the cards that they have acquired because of the total reaching over 13. Now the scoring starts, and the scoring has a typical Reiner Knizia twist to it. Sort your cards into colors. Like so. And so. And so. Ooh, lots of blue. And red and purple. Okay. Step 2, the player who has the most of each color discards that entire collection. Of blue, I definitely have the most blue here, so the blues go away. Of green, there's the most green over there. Of red, I have the most red. And of purple, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a tie, and if there's a tie, then nobody discards. And then the scoring from this point is very simple. 1 point per card, except the green cards. You get 2 points for each one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. So that would go over here for me and me. Okay, and here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's what a round looks like. You pass that first player card to the next player around the table. Everybody puts all the cards together, shuffle them up, deal them out, and play another round. You play as many rounds as you have players, and whoever has the lowest total score at the end is going to win the game. So you can see when you're trying to get rid of cards, it's best to have the most of a color and get rid of those cards. You can kind of force the other players to play a certain card. If you watch carefully, you can kind of see what cards they don't have because they're not playing to that pile. Although that could be a bluff and they may be saving up a certain color. The value on each card doesn't matter. It's the total number of cards that really matters. So as far as an evaluation of the game itself, this Outset Media edition is a very nice quality little game. It's got nice components. The artwork has some personality. The theme is, again, it's a little pasted on, but the core of the game is that Reiner Knizia mathematical adventure, you might say. How do I deal with this, and how do I get used to how the rhythm of this game goes, and the scoring twist at the end where you lose a big chunk of your cards. It's a different way to think about winning or losing. Now, the rules don't say you can't look through your own score pile, kind of see how you're doing. I think that's a good idea to keep track of where you're at and help you determine which cards to play when. And you'll notice if you look through the deck, there's no 3s and no 6s, and there's fewer 4s than there are the other numbers. And that kind of balance helps you a little bit too to know what possibilities there are for other people to be playing. And those poison cards, there's 8 of them in that deck, so they're not rare. So you got to watch out for those too. I think with a larger player count, there's a lot more that can happen between you and your next play, so it'll be a little harder to play ahead, to plan ahead. But with a fewer numbers like this, it's really easy to kind of see what's going on with other players around the table. I haven't played it with a larger number of people, so I reserve judgment on that. But overall, it's a really great little family card game. I definitely will be taking this on our next outing and play it around the picnic table. I really enjoyed the few times I played them last weekend, and I think it's definitely going to be on my short list. And so once again, thanks to Outset Media for this copy to review, and there's a link in the notes below here where you can get a copy for yourself if you'd like to try it out. And as always, let me leave you with this gentle reminder: be sure to play every day.